So I'm gonna show you guys how I sharpen axes. Doesn't mean it's the right way, it's just my way of what I've done over the years, and just tell you a couple things about axes. For me personally, when you're doing kindling, you don't need anything heavy, too heavy, just enough to basically get into the wood, because you can always smack the wood, and you're always basically letting the axe do the work and just kind of gliding through as much as you can. When I chop wood, you want like a wedge axe, a nice heavy, almost like a sledgehammer on the back, and it's going to do the work for you. As long as you can swing it around, once it comes down to the stump, if it's dry enough, it'll just split right through. And I don't like using wood handles anymore, because you can see why. If you miss, it chews it right up. Okay, so this has a lot of rubber guarding, and your axes, splitting axes, will last longer. Also, the more you practice, the better you get your aim, and the less damage you do in your axes. Now, my dad, he used to love using wood axes. A lot of the time, don't let people borrow your axes, because if they don't know what they're doing, they're gonna miss hit and damage here and basically break your handle, and you're gonna end up buying a new handle to put on. This is a really old, this must be an antique axe. This is really cool, this one. When you look at it, so wood handles, if you go into hardware stores, a lot of times you can see you can buy wood handles, and the reason for that, because people split and you can put your own handles back on. Before you use a wood handled axe, I like to soak mine in a bucket of water and let it swell up, and then it's tighter on the head of the axe. Some people be using axes and the heads will fly off and it can be dangerous. Now, if you look at this, you can see there's a wedge in there. Okay, so when you buy a new handle for a wood handle for your axe, you might have to just take a knife and trim it around to fit inside. And once you get it inside, sometimes people will hammer nails into here to like wedge it open, or they'll just pop a wedge in there, a wood wedge, and bang it in there. And after you use it, just give it a soak again as well. People who use them daily, they just throw it in the bucket and soak it overnight, use it the next morning. To sharpen axes, there's things called bastard files, and bastard is just a cut of the file. I don't know if this is a proper bastard file, if it's rugged, but it's just the irregular cut, and they chew through metal pretty quick. So for me, it's just like, just follow the angle of the axe. You can use a grinder, but if you use a grinder, what you're going to do is you're going to take a lot of metal off. And you might put some chips in it too. So the whole point is not to get super sharp. You're just creating more of a wedge, and it'll slice through the wood. You can go a little bit sharp, but what's the sense of going super sharp? You're just going to slice through your foot if you miss hit. So this one hasn't been sharpened in years. You can hear it biting into the metal. It's actually pretty sharp that quick. So let's do this little hatchet now. And to sharpen every couple days, or even after you split your wood every day, takes a couple strokes on each side and it's done. That's more than enough for that. So just some advice for you young guys out there, young gals. If you don't have a direction in your life, think about what you spend in the bars every weekend. Like maybe $100, a couple $100 on pizzas and bars and coffees every day. What's that, $5-10 twice a day? You keep that in the bank for half a year and stop doing it. You go get yourself an acre or two and buy it outright. Come putter. Get yourself an axe, a hatchet, a little wood stump. Just start by splitting wood. Dig yourself out a fire pit. You don't need money. Go get some stones, big boulders from somewhere. Line them around. Get yourself a fire going. If you can't afford a lawn chair, make yourself a stump or a little wooden bench. Sit on it. Bring some friends around. Instead of going to the bar and pissing your money away, you can do it around a fire pit, and then you got your own property. And then the more you putter, make yourself a sawhorse. Get yourself, next step, a shitter, an outhouse. Just buy yourself a spade shovel. Dig a little pit. Put an outhouse on it. Just keep puttering and picking away, and you'd be surprised after one summer at what you have done on your property. Start clearing brush away with your hatchet. Like, if you've got lost direction in life, get some land. Just get a little piece of land, something tiny, out in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't matter. And when you're bored in life, head out there and start puttering. And eventually you'll have a pretty nice piece of land, and you never know what. Someone might drive by and say, hey, are you interested in selling? Sell it, move on to the next piece. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, but I don't know. That's just my little 2 bits of people seem to be lost a lot, so no direction. How's it going? You puttering? Are you done puttering?